Good morning, everybody. So we're gonna just start. Usually we have like two songs. We're gonna start with just one song because we have a lot to talk about today.
So,
Like a lot. Are you?
us opinions impossible.
Yes, a lot of opinions. I'm talking a lot of opinions because first of all, forgive us for sounding like two
It
tired girls because we are in fact two tired girls. Um, Now, this is something I've talked about my stream kind of, well, not briefly. It took an hour, at least on one particular thing. Um, but we're going to go into more depth on what the fuck is going on with Twitch right now. And I know Abby, I was the one informing Abby of all this happening like in real time at work and stuff because my goodness, I have whiplash. I've calmed down.
yeah, no, like that's like the perfect term for it. It's seriously whiplash.
That's exactly how I feel. Because it is.
Cause like every time you told me something, it's just like there's
And
more.
another thing. Did you?
And another thing,
Yeah.
I'm like, calm down, god damn.
No, Twitch doesn't want to calm down. So I know that there is also petty drama. Don't get me wrong. There is a lot of petty drama. Oh, sorry, Kumo, but we all come for the two songs, not these opinions. Yeah, you know it. Um, so I'm also now drinking. I shouldn't be drinking energy drinks this early in the morning, but I'm so exhausted, and I fear that the energy drink paired with my rage is gonna make me hyper. I hope it does. I'm very tired. But
Ew. When do
I
you not get hyper?
yes, true. So in the what is it? I know within the past week there has also been petty drama sprinkled in with whatever the fuck is going on with Twitch. Because as Twitch as a whole, we're mostly going to be talking about Twitch creators. Okay.
Hmm.
Um, we won't get into the petty dramas, but we will get into the things that I fear or feel like Twitch should have a better handle on as a company.
Yeah.
Um, because I don't. We love tea. We love petty drama.
Oh
Abby and
god,
I.
yeah, no.
This is like
We're at that point in our lives where we openly admit like my toxic trait is I like tea a little too much.
yeah. I love my tea, but in this situation, in this particular situation, our anger, or at least mine, is going to be placed solely on the company and maybe some other people, but mostly on the company because it's been a rough week. So I remember I talked to you, Abby. There was some other like things that happened before this. Like I said, it was like this giant ripple effect. I don't know if it's because isn't some we have 6 planets in retrograde right now. I don't know if that's the problem. I want to blame the planets. I'm just gonna blame the planets. Fuck them planets.
God, like usually it's not this bad. I've survived through what like 6 planets in retrograde before at a call center. Like why?
Yeah. I don't know. Your voices are both dripping with such exhaustion. You can almost tag ASMR just sleeping. Okay, so I am exhausted. My dogs kept me up all night. And
They
Abby,
really did.
yeah, fuck. I mean, I love them, but fuck them dogs. But I love them.
Yep.
But Abby, I think is sick, right? You have like
I don't know what's going on because it's like
it's
this
the
happened
changing
when
of the
I spent.
seasons. Mm-hmm.
Well, like here's the thing. I feel almost the exact same way I did when I did the Splatfest demo. And I
Mm.
literally spent all day playing Splatfest.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I spent
Mm.
most of the day yesterday
Oh my goodness.
being irresponsible playing Splatfest,
Yeah.
along with some My Children of the Light.
I was about to
Um,
say I played Splatfest earlier this yesterday yesterday in the early afternoon, but then I got connection issues, so I stopped
mm,
because I got frustrated. It was getting a little out of hand. Tried again later that
yeah.
evening, and it was 10 times worse, and I just stopped. But that's for another day. I could not. I just could not.
Um,
Like no joke. I just moved to my
but like
phone
I
and laid
went
down.
to bed with my nose running.
Mm.
and it was like the exact same time my nose was running last time.
Oh no. It's Splatoon.
So like
Blame
I
Nintendo.
don't well like it's upstairs, so
Mm.
near the attic. So it's like maybe I need to vacuum really well up there.
Mm.
Or it could be the um couch that my parents gave me that was is old
Oh.
as fuck, and it was
Mm.
in a room that like I know my parents haven't really like used or been in like 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean like it could just be like a really dusty crusty couch.
Yep,
Or
that
like
could
you
be it.
said, we had storms last night or like rain last night, and that could have
Mm-hmm.
brought in something. So
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know. It's not as bad as the demo. When I played the demo, like I woke up like really really sick the next day. This today I just feel like shit. It's like
Oh, me
it's that
too.
dry kind of feeling you get up in your sinuses.
Oh yeah. Well, I feel like shit because I had no sleep, and also I'm cramping, so I feel like shit
Yeah.
all around. And also, I'm fatigued as all hell because I'm riding the crimson wave.
Yeah.
Roll Tide, the crimson
Real
tide,
died.
the crimson tide. Anyway,
Sports humor.
yes, we have to. So, kind of like passing through the petty drama that happened before the shit that happened with Twitch, because there is some, and to all those who
Yeah.
are like into the tea like we are, y'all
Mm.
should definitely check it out because my goodness, my cup was overflowing this week that I couldn't even contain it all. But again, we're just going to focus on the biggest drama that happened earlier this week, which is that Twitch has banned certain gambling sites. Now, for a lot of people who are on Twitch or a lot of Twitch creators, there was like this divide of, oh, well, should Twitch ban gambling? Should they not ban gambling? And it all stems from a content creator by the name of It's Slicker. And I know, again, I mentioned this a little bit on my channel. Um, oh, cheese and crackers.
Good
I
Lord,
know.
Racy.
I'm
Goddamn.
sorry. I'm also eating
Your
soup.
demons even have opinions about that, and we haven't heard from your demons in fucking months.
Yeah, I know. I'm so. They're like, listen, I'm out. You're talking about this shit again. I'm out. That's what they're saying.
Alright.
So
I got
it's,
opinions.
yeah. So it is, it's Slicker who, and this is what's so, oh no, is it Slicker? Yeah. Who scammed $300,000 from different streamers as well as their viewers. So like
Yeah.
streamers, friends, viewers. Okay?
Mm.
And I've seen, this is the petty drama of it all. I've seen how a lot of the streamers have come out about it because they finally were putting two and two together,
Yeah.
you know, with like, oh, wait, he asked you for this much? Like, he asked me for this much kind of stuff. Like, and he never paid them back, obviously. So
Yeah.
Slicker has a gambling problem, which by gambling problem, should say gambling addiction. And with any addiction, it's never as black and white, it's addiction. And
Well,
those,
also on top of that, it's specifically sports gambling.
yes. So they did find that they did find out that it was indeed the sports gambling, which, yeah, you said it's very important. And I should also note that Slicker also, what is it, never streamed that on Twitch, right? It
Yeah,
wasn't,
it was off stream.
it was off stream. Um, so that is important because it continues the debate, it's for the debate.
Right.
Um, so he admitted in a stream that yes, he did scam money from his streamer friends or like just his friends or his viewers even, which is what I need to stress. He scammed his viewers um, for over $300,000. That someone, they literally calculated how much, like all the streamers and the people who came forward calculated how much it was owed to them. And
Yeah.
it was kind of the reason why it came out on the news, because it was kind of sleazy how he asked some of his viewers, because he would first ask how old they were
Yeah.
before asking, for money. And it isn't because the reason why he asked how old they were is because he wanted to know if they were old enough to work, which is such, it's disgusting. I guess it's sleazy, it's disgusting. Because these are a lot of teenagers, right?
Yeah.
Maybe these are a lot of teenagers with their first jobs or something. And he's asking them for money. Like it. But again, I'm trying to keep my thoughts, my emotional responses to my, like, in check, because I also understand that this is a gambling addiction. And there's a lot of addicts who would do that.
I would say that it's a gambling addiction to an extent.
No, no, it is. It straight up is. The way
You are
everything.
still like an addiction is an addiction, but you are still responsible for what you did.
Yes. And he admits that he is indeed responsible for what he's done. Um, and he even admitted to saying at one point that if he wasn't caught, he would continue to do it. He loved gambling that much that he would continue to do it if he wasn't caught. And I think for me, the reason why it's a little harder for me, because like I get that he's also like a victim of addiction, as most
Hmm.
addicts are. I cannot, I have, like, it is a thing that I know I have to understand. But when it came out that he was, and the messages I read, where he was asking for money from like he was taking money from a cancer patient, like before her treatment, or
Yeah.
just asking for money right before her treatment. The messages are there. It made me angry because it showed he showed no remorse for any of it. In some interviews with other streamers that he's done, he even said like he doesn't, there is no remorse for anything that he's done for
Yeah.
the scamming of his followers.
Yeah.
And at that point, again, I get that it's an addiction, but the fact that he would even hold himself accountable in any way during those interviews shows that he has not learned his lesson at all. Like at all. He will continue to do this, maybe not as prominent on the Twitch community, but I do feel like he will continue to do this because
Agreed.
and this is just my speculation, and this is my own personal opinion. I'm gonna tag that, is that because of his lack of remorse and that he's going to continue to do it, he loves gambling more than he ever loved Twitch or being a Twitch creator.
Yeah.
Like, because at this point, he only used Twitch to be able to make a name for himself to scam his followers. Now, so update on that is a good chunk of money that X used to be working. Yes, yes. Wait, what has gone to people in the gambling circle and back into the gambling? Oh no. So I do know that two creators, Ludwig and XQC, when they found out about the news, said that they were going to pay everybody back.
Yeah.
So, which I thought was very sweet, to pay back the people who were like the streamers who lost the money from Slicker, and as well as the, I think it's also the some of the followers, because again, Slicker did something shady. Slicker went into a Discord that Ludwig created,
Hmm.
and in that Discord scammed a lot of Ludwig's followers from that Discord. They weren't even his. They just,
Yeah.
any I guess any victim, any follower that he could get his hands on to scam, he did. And he used the same excuse. Like every single time he was like sounding desperate how much he needed the money to help with his mother or help with his bank or all this stuff. And it just, I was mad. I was mad. I was mad for all the victims. Like, again, he's a victim, but all the victims that he scammed, I was so mad
I mean,
because,
I think I finally figured out what I want to say is that it's like, yes, gambling is an addiction, but he's an abuser.
yeah.
He abused his power and like
Mm-hmm.
and used it against not only his followers but like his friends' followers.
Yes. He didn't care who he scammed. That's the thing. He did not
Yeah.
care, and he shows no remorse for who he scammed.
Mhm.
He
Yep.
was, he literally only thought of himself. And with all the opportunities streamers have given him to be like, hold yourself accountable, like, he wouldn't do it. He did not do it at all. And I think that's why I'm so angry about it. It's because other people realize you have an addiction and are trying to like see the best in you and trying to make it work out for you, and you're just pretty much just like, nah, I'm good.
And like trying to help because like there are a lot of people who have really really bad addictions that would kill to have like this kind of chance and this kind of support.
Yeah.
And he just kind of throws it back in everybody's face.
Yeah. That's exactly how it is. So I don't think he's been online after that, after the big thing. Um, he's been kind of
I think he
quiet.
was for a little bit, and then
Yeah.
it really started to blow up with like everything else,
Mm-hmm.
and he kind of fell back, is my understanding.
I personally think that was the first domino to fall because
Mm,
here's the aftermath. So Twitch's response to this is Slicker is no longer a partner as well as an affiliate. So he can no longer be making money on Twitch. However, comma, he still has a platform,
yep,
which makes me mad because that's the whole point. He used his platform to
to
scam these
views.
people. Yeah, he used his position of power to scam all these people. And like, I'm glad, the bigger creators, other streamers recognize him as like, okay, yeah, he's going to scam me for money and all this stuff. But it doesn't save him from the viewers or other people who are like stumbling upon his channel, and he can make a sob story like, oh, well, I used to be big on Twitch, but now Twitch cut me off. Like, I need money to survive. He could use that kind of excuse to get like garner more money. It just,
Mm,
Twitch needs to fully remove him from the platform, and they haven't done that yet. What did Twitch do after this controversy came in? Because again, first domino to fall. The entire community was like, ban gambling. You need to ban gambling. You know what you should do? You should ban gambling, Twitch, because it leads to all of this. Even though, again, there's a debate about it. Um, it sounds like the scamming was done on Discord, not during stream. Yes, it is done. This is outside of the stream. He never did it on stream. What he did
right.
was use his streaming platform and his Discord to do this, as well as
Hmm.
like the connections he made with other streamers to do this. Um, that's what he used.
Yep.
All of his gambling was done offline. He didn't even stream it, which is also very important because. But I think it's because everyone used him as an example for them to ban gambling on Twitch, because they're like, this is what gambling could lead to, especially for young impressionable viewers who are on the gambling category on Twitch. You know, it could spark an addiction, which I can see that. I can see why people.
My biggest counter argument to that is like, I'm not responsible for parenting your children.
That's yeah. So that's the thing too. I understand both sides. I understand wanting to outright ban gambling, but you're not going to do that because in America, gambling is just a big thing. It's just huge
Yeah.
here, and no one is going to.
Now, like, you can do things like ethical gambling and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Um, Things that are like non-monetary, things that are like mental stimulus. Because I talked to you about this. It's like I don't see a huge problem with playing things like poker and blackjack and things like that, as long as there's like no money on the line, because those are like mental games.
Mm-hmm. I see. I can understand that, but like, I can also see the other side of people are like, listen, we as creators have a responsibility to the viewers to not promote gambling and stuff. But at the same time, I also understand that video gaming is also an addiction. But we ain't gonna stop
Anything
video
can be
gaming.
an addiction.
Literally
Yeah.
anything could be an addiction. And it's yes, gambling can hurt you in the long run financially and destroy
Hmm.
lives financially and such. But so can video gaming. But again, that's just me having conversations with any kind of form of addiction because you know and I know we've studied addictions. This is anything can be an addiction. I i don't like, I get that this is a win. I do agree that this is a win for um Twitch because
I would say it's not a win because it's only banned certain websites that admittedly is long overdue for these specific websites because they're not regulated and they're unethical and like very shady, and it's
well
finally
not
getting dealt with, but it's not
not all of
dealing
these
with
are, that's the
all
thing.
gambling.
Yes. So this is the thing. These aren't really just like, they're not as shady as people. They're pretty big names like stake.com. So let me go ahead and read the tweet that Twitch put out after all of this. They said gambling content on Twitch has been a big topic of discussion in the community and something we've been actively reviewing since our last policy update in this area. Today, we want to update you on our plans. While we prohibit sharing links or referral codes to all sites that include slot, roulettes, or dice games, we see some people circumvent those rules and expose our community to potential harm. So, we will be making a policy update on October 18th to promote streaming, excuse me, to prohibit streaming of gambling sites that include slots, roulettes, or dice games that aren't either licensed in the U.S. or other jurisdictions that provide sufficient consumer protection. So it's not even like, you can still play cards, which I know
Yeah,
there's a lot of poker streams. Like I've seen poker streams and such. Those are still fine.
yeah.
Like especially card games, they're fine. But the sites that they were including were
Hmm.
stake.com, rollbit, dualbits, and roobit.com. And they may identify others. So it's mostly just like the slots or roulette or dice games. But cards, they're still on the table. Ha.
For now.
For now. They also are allowing sports website or they're allowing websites that focus on sports betting and fantasy sports and poker, like I said, which is fair because my goodness, the amount of people who love fantasy sports blows my mind. I didn't realize how many people were on like the fantasy sports stuff.
Right.
And I do think that if they did take that away, it would be chaos for sure. Now, I see this as a win because again, I can understand the I can understand how a kid could look at slots and be like, "Oh, this is fun," and get addicted to it.
I can look at slots as like a psychology minor and know why people think it's
Yeah.
fun.
Like I can see why kids would be like, "Oh, this is fun." The sounds, the excitement, all that cuz again, I grew up um kind of figuring out what gambling is because every summer I would go to Aruba and you can be very young to gamble, right? Not kids by the way, but like I think 18 to
Yeah.
gamble. But when I went to those places, I saw the excitement, I saw the noises. It sounded really fun, and I thought it was just like playing a video game. It's not.
Right.
It's absolutely not. I didn't realize like money was involved and how fast you can lose the money, and you lose more than you gain with any gambling. And I don't want to do
Hmm.
that. I don't want to make that risk. Uh, but so I can understand why it would be impressionable for kids to do it or try it and can get addicted to it. Especially if you win something small, you're like, oh, I can win again. Maybe it'll be bigger, kind of thing. So I can see both sides. I can. I do think that they shouldn't outright ban the gambling streamers, but how I think there was another streamer who put it correctly. They shouldn't just post their wins. They should also post their losses
Yeah.
so that you can see the reality of how gambling really is, cuz you will lose a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. You will lose so much. And I understand that not a lot of kids can see that, you know, or they won't understand that. Let me see here. Also could have been long long been done. Twitch was forced into a corner now because of this. That's true. And the gambling in question that was done was based off Counter-Strike betting with weapon skins. Yes, that is also. I've seen that. Which again, I don't use the Counter-Strike weapon skin that you could sell for hundreds of dollars. Like I'm not about that. I'm good. I don't want. I'm good. Because I remember that was a huge thing once upon a time too. And I would like to make a statement as well. YouTube went through the same, like a similar thing years ago. This is like history just repeating itself. And instead of on YouTube, it's just on Twitch. Like with everything that came out. Because YouTube also had a gambling problem with one of their YouTubers promoting a site that they created for CSGO gambling. And it was a big deal years ago. So I just feel like history is repeating itself. Um, but yeah, so like I said, the I don't. Here's what I want to hear from you, Abby. Do you think that the sentence for the streamer was light in terms of everything,
Oh, absolutely. He's an abuser. He used his platform to like take advantage and abuse
even though he's
his
no longer making
viewers
money?
along with yeah,
Mm, I agree.
because it's like think about YouTube
Yeah.
for just a second.
Mm-hmm.
Philip DeFranco is one of the most vocal about this with monetization that you have to outsource your income from other places than just YouTube because you cannot rely on YouTube to um, stay consistent with its payments.
Mm-hmm.
From the adpocalypse, like a few years ago,
Mm-hmm.
to just like things that just causes it to be demonetized for whatever reason. Um, you have to like have other sources of income, other sponsors, other things, just other things. That doesn't mean that he doesn't have a sponsor elsewhere. It doesn't mean that he isn't promoting some kind of product for himself.
Mm-hmm.
He still has a platform to push onto like push things onto other people.
Mm-hmm. I think so again, but I, you know me. I want justice, and this, I don't know. I'm glad he's not making money, but he's just not making money through Twitch.
Yeah, he's just not making money on Twitch. That
Yeah,
doesn't mean he's not
not
making
making
money
money.
elsewhere.
Exactly. And he still could use his I don't know if he's been streaming. Again, I'm pretty sure. Actually, let me see when was the last time he was streaming. Because
My understanding was is that he was still streaming for a few days post everything, but then he started getting into interviews and stuff and it started blowing up a lot.
mhm.
Um so after that he wasn't.
Yeah, so his last stream I see, at least for the VOD, was 6 days ago. So it has been a week. Or almost a week since it came out. Because honestly, how are you going to come back to all of this? You know, it makes sense.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah. The like anyway, I just don't. I wish they. I understand why they couldn't do it because again, like I think Kumo said, like he didn't technically break terms of service, which is fair. It does put Twitch on a bind because what can you do? And like the proof of him scamming his followers is through Discord, not necessarily through Twitch. So I get why. I personally feel like it's not enough, but I understand why. I understand why it's not enough.
Yeah.
Like legal wise, their hands are tied with this one. And I think that's why they chose to do the gambling thing, like banning certain gambling sites to kind of quell that. Which
Yeah.
again, that's why I think again that's kind of a win, but not a big win. It's just at least you're paying attention and trying to do what you can with what you have. Now, we're gonna briefly talk about this
Okay.
because this is kind of what happened in between one Twitch thing and like from the company Twitch and this other Twitch thing that with the company Twitch. And I think Zamer, if you're still there, you also know about this too, so you can give some more insight. So these are based off like the Texas-based Twitch streamers. Okay, there was a allegation. Let, let me go back a little bit. So there was a streamer named Ms. Kiff during this gambling thing, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Who stated something like if you want Twitch to ban gambling. Okay, this happened right after the whole gambling scam stuff. And another streamer by the name of Trainwreck responded like it. This was like the petty drama that just blew up out of nowhere. So
Yeah.
Trainwreck responded like maybe they shouldn't really be banning Twitch. Banning gambling on Twitch. Miss Kiff's response was petty by saying like, didn't you use what is it, Bitcoin or some kind of cryptocurrency to scam like his viewers or whatever? Just petty drama. It's something that they were poking and prodding the bear, right? Just to get something out of it. It was something that shouldn't have been said, in my personal opinion,
Yeah.
especially online. And then Trainwreck, just like in his name, caused a train wreck by stating, didn't you didn't you pressure someone to stay silent about a sexual allegation? And that's putting it lightly, by the way, Abby. That is putting it as lightly as I can.
Yeah.
Because this is a topic that I do not care about the two petty dramas between Train and Ms. Giff. I do not care. I care
Yeah.
about the victim behind this that blew up,
Yeah.
which was Adriana Lee. She's the victim. Train and Ms. This again, it was heartbreaking to hear because that was not Train's business to put out there. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't his business. In fact, Adriana asked him not to put it out there, but now, because it took away her story,
Yeah.
giving it to someone, ooh, don't drop victims. Like she clearly, when this blew up, it blew up. I'm dropping or at least for me, I want to announce the victim's name because she's already spoken about it. Because we're going to talk about her growth as well, like through all of this. Because this is from her point of view. I do not care about the point of view of Miss Giff I care, but the fact that they did that to her. When she explicitly said that she did not want this to be out for a while. But now that it's out, I'm glad she's been able to take care of it on her own terms. And she's handled it, the best way she could. But yes, it's
Yeah.
full front out there, Kumo. Because again, I hate that they used another victim's story for some petty ass drama, just to get at to get at each other. And I hate to say it, it wasn't Train's story to tell. I'm glad that it was out in the open, but I don't think that all of Twitter needed to know about it. But now that they knew about it, I was just more
Yeah.
concerned about the victim, Adriana Lee. Well, that came out, and I do believe that. I'm sorry. I do believe that. What was it? Ms. Kiff is off his. I think it's OTK, like his team, like his gaming team, or you know, OTK, which is a company I think he's also like a head of, or like at the forefront of at least.
Yeah.
So because he was at the forefront, he and not to be confused. There's going to be a lot of names. Co-creator. Thank you, Zamer. With It's Slicker. There's another streamer by the name of Crazy Slick. Crazy Slick was the person who committed the sexual assault towards
Hmm.
Adriana Lee. Okay. And Ms. Kiff wanted to protect Crazy Slick because he's part of OTK,
Yeah.
and sent out people allegedly, this is all allegedly, I cannot stress this enough, allegedly, sent out people to get her to not speak out about it.
Yeah.
And that is what I feel like a lot of people were upset about, because Ms. Kiff was always someone who, like, he would always boast about saying, like, I would never, like, if there was victims out, you should come out and say it and all this stuff. But because it was a friend of his who was also part of the, like, one of his, like, good friends, part of the company, he gets a pass. Like, Crazy Slicker gets a pass. And that's not okay. That is absolutely not okay. And I feel for Adriana Lee, because this happened, I think, 2 years ago, 2019. That's 2 years, right?
Yeah, that 3.
Shit. I think it's
Damn,
2019,
girl.
2020. I know.
I know that like the COVID has like the pandemic has like really affected like time and everything, but that doesn't excuse the math.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think it was like, because she said 2019, 2020, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, I lied. It's 2021. This was 2021. My bad. So this happened 2021. And that, like, yes, I understand he did send two people to understand what happened. He did want to look out for Slick, but he wanted to know the full details before he did anything. But other people corroborated the story, like, who also corroborated the story, was saying that, because Adriana Lee said, like, what if like you announce this, it could ruin Crazy Slick's life. Those kind of words is pressuring her to stay silent. Whether or not that was their intention, that's exactly what it comes off as. Because now you're putting the guilt towards the victim. Like, oh, like, what if he did do this or not? Or maybe it wasn't sexual assault, but like, if you say it is, it could ruin his life. You put the victim in a position, like, a where she now has to feel guilt towards this person who committed the assault. I should also put trigger warning, but
Yeah.
that is what that is. Um, and I want to take this again. I don't want to speak for Adriana Lee. You should, for anyone listening, you should definitely check out her Twitter, where she speaks about it. And there has been several interviews where she talks about it in better detail, because now she's in therapy. She recognizes, like, she spoke about it before, how she now recognizes what was done to her was in fact sexual harassment, sexual assault. And she's trying to heal from it now because of everything that came out. So that's where I'm going to stay with that. I know a lot of times hearing such stories is a lot, but in this situation, I would love you guys to hear from her personally, like, directly, about her story, and how she had to go through. This is what it sucks. As a streamer, for her, she even stated that she couldn't speak out about it because she knew of the backlash that was going to come for her as a victim,
Mhm.
and as a streamer. And she knew that a lot of fans who have parasocial relationships with streamers will, like, get angry and
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it will say, parasocial relationship, the stands, they will send death threats, they'll get angry, they'll
Yeah.
blame her for what happened to her. Like it happens. And she recognized that. And that's why she was so scared to speak out. And it sucks that we're still in a society where that still is a big thing to happen, no matter how big of a streamer you are. Like it's still something that people blame the female victim because they don't want their favorite streamer to be in trouble for
Yeah.
anything. And it sucks. But there are also text messages which I will not read here. Like if you have the stomach to read them, read her accounts. Like read her accounts. Those are her words, and that is her story. And I hate that it was taken from her, but I'm glad she's finally in the process of healing from all of that. She
Yeah.
recognizes it and is finally healing. So good on you. And I know it's going to be a long road ahead in terms of healing, but I'm proud of you.
But it's like on top of all of that, it just like it's two guys just trying to outdick one another online
Mm-hmm.
and taking attention away from a very serious problem.
Yes.
And it's not one of those things where it's just like, oh, we're gonna like y'all are talking about gambling when he's done so much worse. It's just like this one specific creator has done so much worse. It's no, it's two guys outdicking one
That's
another
ex-
and involving
mm,
someone nowhere related to any of the original problem
mm-hmm. It was
and having her choice to tell her story snatched away from her.
exactly. Thank you.
Because
Well
she
put.
like you said, she wanted to keep it on the down low.
She did. Or like she didn't want it. She didn't want her like story out there publicly because again, it is very damaging for a streamer. You're right.
Mhm.
But keep going. I'm listening. You're saying it so much more coherently than I am.
And then it's her story to tell. Some people want the world to know their story, others just want it kept to themselves and kept private so they have control over that. And
mm-hmm.
that's how they feel control over that situation.
Mm-hmm.
And they like completely stripped her of that. Completely.
All
Just
because.
because they're just dickheads,
Yep.
just wanting to outdick one another.
Yep.
And when we talked about like a very hypothetical, like genuinely hypothetical situation within our friend group, it's
Yes.
like, what would we do? It's like, well, we would try to keep it on the down low to protect the victim,
Mm-hmm.
because men can be victims too,
Mm-hmm.
to protect the victim, and then like support the victim where we can, and then like send this to the police. Like, not try and cover this up at all, just like have the police handle this. Like, we can completely ostracize the assailant, but that's not going to do anything. What
Mm-hmm.
needs to be done is that the police need to handle this
Well,
and
but
keep it on the down low, because some it's not a situation that needs to be paraded on the internet.
agreed. And like I said, for her, she even stated like that's not something she wanted to be like to want. She didn't want this to be on the internet. She didn't, and
Right.
it sucks that it was.
And like
And
I do get situations like with Cry, I get situations with Ryan, like where it's especially Cry, where it's just like
you mean chaotic?
people aren't listening. There are a lot of people, and people aren't like, there are a lot of victims, and the community is just not listening,
Mm-hmm.
and nothing is being done. So I'm gonna make it public.
Yeah, which is fair. And the thing with chaotic was different, I believe.
Yeah,
So, but I understand what you're going with that. I because it was the victims who finally came out. Like the victims finally
yeah,
came out and spoke their truth when they finally spoke out and found other victims like themselves, and they're like, okay, we need to actually talk about this. That the victims came out with their story. This, like you said, was just a big dick contest, and it blew up, and a lot of people were upset for the same reasons we were, Abby. Like, this was not your story to
Yeah.
tell. I'm glad it was out, but it shouldn't have been you who outed that, as well
It's
as
not your
it
story.
is not your
It's
story.
not your story.
Mm-mm. And the fact that you thought it was okay to do it just so that you can show to one another who is the better person or who is worse than, like, that is such bullshit. Like, that's so
Yeah.
insensitive, because both of y'all
Yeah.
don't even care about the actual victim. That's what it proves.
No.
Both of y'all do not care about the actual victim. Y'all just wanted to see who was a better person. That was it. Period. It makes me mad. But that's what happened. And then I think a few hours later, it was only a few hours. We couldn't even, our heads were reeling with all of this, correct?
Yeah.
And of course, Miss Kiff, I think, stepped down or stepped away for a while for from OTK, which I think is great. I think Crazy Slick also is gone, I believe. So good on that. Crazy Slick being the person who committed the crime.
Gambler.
No. It's
Oh, okay.
Slicker.
The assailant.
Yes, the assailant. So it's Slicker is the gambler. Crazy Slick is the assailant. I know it. Why people using Slick, I don't know, but that is what it is. And a few hours later, Twitch drops the biggest bomb, which I've read on my stream. So I'm just going to give you tidbits of like a
Yeah.
summary, a TLDR of what it is, where Twitch, and this is where I'm going to get a little angry because this affects everybody, including the big streamers, but also small streamers. Twitch decided that they are going to implement something on June 1st of 2023, where instead of bringing everybody up to a 70-30 split, which is what a lot of people wanted, give them more
Yeah.
money, they are
Yeah.
going to bring everybody down to 50-50. Meaning, whatever
Stupid
this,
as fuck.
yeah, whatever the streamer makes, they will take half. Now,
Which is bullshit. Like,
it
there's
is.
so much wrong with it because it's just like, y'all aren't doing 50% of the
That's
work.
exactly it. So, all right, before we
You're not.
wait, all right, we're getting ahead of
Okay.
ourselves. No, I know. Feel the rage.
The mucus is getting to my brain
No,
and all I
it's
feel is rage.
when I read this, it just it makes me so mad. Okay, but first, I think the reason why I was so pissed off was when I was reading the blog. I read it several times because I'm like, what are you serious? You're kidding. Because they used
Yeah.
words like they used fluff words like, oh, it's because of you, the streamers who make it like Twitch the way it is, and oh, it's because we're a family in this place. We want to take care of you guys, and this is how we're gonna
Don't
do it.
talk to us about a family work
I know, I
environment.
know, I know, I know. I think that's also why it pisses me off.
They can shut their fucking mouth about that shit.
I was like,
Goddamn.
that's exactly
Get out my face with that. Oh, holy shit.
so that's exactly how it is. So they're like, oh, we're a family. We couldn't do this without you, the streamer, working hard. So instead, we're going to implement a 50-50 split for even the top streamers, the big streamers, those who have who are currently on a contract. They're like, once your contract is finished, completed, then we're going to take
Yeah.
half of everything you earn. And of course, the big streamers are like, excuse me, the fuck? What? But they're like, no, don't worry. If you're still on a contract, we're going to, we're not really going to implement this until June of next year. Oh my God. Everyone was pissed because everyone was like,
Oh,
why are
how
she giving us?
considerate of them to give us enough time to leave
Yes.
and find other reliable.
Yes. But do you want to know what the worst thing is? They're like, so yeah, we're of course we're taking like 50-50 from you, but you know how you can make more money so it doesn't look like you're losing as much money? You should run more ads on your stream. More
Wow.
ads on your stream. Which, by
Also,
the way,
this
they are
actually really
taking.
ties back to our original argument
Yes.
and why, like, we both think that what's his face, the gambler guy, the scammer,
Oh,
um,
yes.
was let off too lightly. Other people, like people are gonna find other things than Twitch's ads to support them.
Mm-hmm. It says it won't be in effect, however, they will cap it off at 100K a month for certain streamers, Zamer. That's only for certain streamers.
100K a month? Who
Yeah,
is
so there's 70
freaking
30, but
smart?
if you make over 100K, then they're taking half at that point. But again, that's for
Okay,
certain
like I
streamers. Not,
kinda understand that, but who the fuck is making 100K a
oh, you would be
month?
surprised. There is a lot of streamers
I
making
I
more than
w-
that.
actually wouldn't be surprised, but
Yeah.
like
There's a lot of streamers making like that kind of money.
I
But it
imagine what you could
doesn't
do with like 100K a month.
I know. I know.
Seriously.
But it doesn't affect smaller streamers, like partners who do not have that kind of contract. Um,
Right.
and again, I understand that a lot of big streamers are pissed off because they're like, for streamers still on the premium deals, we're adjusting the deal so that they can retain their 70/30 revenue share split for the first 100K earned through subscription revenue. Revenue above 100K will be split at the standard 50/50 split. We're announcing this change now, but it won't go into effect until June 1st of 2023. So again, these are hand-picked special streamers who get this kind of treatment, who can have the 70/30 until they reach a certain point, which is garbage and bullshit. It's bullshit. Because if you're not, let's say you're a partner, right? And you're not in one of those special contracts that you have with Twitch, it doesn't matter. They're still taking half. Like it's so stupid.
It
Absolute
is.
garbage. And I get that there are big streamers out there, but there are also streamers who may not be as widely known, who are kind of out of the drama public eye, who still make a lot of money, but they're still
Right.
taking half from those people. Like it's bogus. I can't believe I used that word, but yes, it's bogus. When I saw that and I saw that their only excuse to help is you should run more ads, I was livid because I don't know if anyone else has this problem, especially on Twitch, which is again why I thought YouTube was a very good, better handling at this. There have been streamers where I would want to watch their stream and they have 8 ads in a row, 8 to 10 ads in a row.
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
even saw a streamer that had 12 ads in a row, 12 in a row.
And like I can kind of understand that where it's just like, okay, we're gonna start it off with a bunch right at the beginning. We're gonna go 2 hours and then we're gonna do it again.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure there are a lot of people that like have an ad, like
Every
multiple
hour.
ads every 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm. You have to run like an ad every hour, but like for those group of ads, oh my God, they're so annoying because they're unskippable ads. YouTube
Yeah.
does have skippable ads if it reaches like a certain
Hmm.
time point. Like if it's a movie trailer or something, you can just skip it, right?
Yeah. Usually.
YouTube. So yeah, so I mean, YouTube forces ads on videos and demonetizes them without reason. YouTube isn't perfect. That is absolutely true.
Well, they have their own problems. You can
YouTube,
go see like Mark, Matt, and Jacksepticeye all have very eloquent opinions about this.
yes, because again, YouTube has their own problems, and I don't
Oh
think
yeah.
I think YouTube has a long way to go before ever achieving the success of Twitch. I do admit that. But Twitch is digging themselves into a grave so fast that it's
Hmm.
making it easier for YouTube to catch up, if that makes sense. But again,
Yeah.
YouTube also is not perfect. But the difference between YouTube and Twitch is that when you have big creators on YouTube speaking out about it, YouTube will actually do their best to listen. They have communication problems sometimes unless someone big comes to talk to them, but they do
Yeah.
listen. Whereas when this came out, all the big streamers complained about it. Like every
Hmm.
single one of them were yelling and raising hell about it. And Twitch
Uh-huh.
has yet to respond to it because they're not going to. And I've talked about this to Abby as well, is that because it's backed by Amazon. We all know
Yeah,
Amazon is not a good company to work for because, again, Amazon
they're
has
unethical.
yeah, Amazon has workers who goes on strike and all that, and Amazon will let them. And this is what pisses me off about Amazon. Amazon will let them go on their strikes and stuff, easily replace them, and they're like, let them scream it out. Eventually, they'll come back because we're a big company. No one is going to stop buying from us. Like everyone depends on us as Amazon because it's true. I think they're using that same kind of I guess strategy for Twitch. They're like, doesn't matter if they're all going to scream and shout and cry about it. They're still going to use Twitch. And unless we actually do something about it as streamers and I guess content creators, they really aren't going to implement any changes anytime soon. Yes, Amazon is the biggest union busting operation in the US. Yes,
Yep.
they are unethical. And yet they understand like we can kick and cry and scream about it, but it doesn't matter because, we're still going to have the biggest streamers. They're still to this day one of the best streaming platforms. They are still reigning champs and they know it, which is why I think they believe they can get away with this. And they might, unless a bunch of streamers that I've seen will move to YouTube, which again isn't perfect. YouTube is not perfect. But a lot of people, a lot of streamers are jumping ship to YouTube because it's gotten to a point where they're like, we can't support this. We don't know how to stop it. We're just going to switch over. And I don't know. I'm kind of on that boat. I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of on that boat. YouTube algorithm also isn't the best for long-term streams, unlike Twitch. Twitch has a lot of things like Twitch has been the reigning streaming platform for years. They have had
Yep.
time to perfect everything. I have talked about it too. The community on Twitch is so much better than on YouTube. Personally, I believe that. I do, because again, YouTube only has like subscribers, which is the same as like a follower, but they don't have like subscriptions. You have members, I think is what members. But again, it doesn't feel the same. I like the community on Twitch for sure. I love Twitch's community. Plus, you have your cool emotes, and you have like, what is it? They're taking away hosting, by the way, so we can no longer host other Twitch streamers. So, but you have raids.
Ugh.
I know, isn't that this awful? You have raids. You have ways to, because Twitch is still very good at shining light on smaller streamers.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that YouTube hasn't been able to, I guess, really help small streamers. It's just harder to grow as a small streamer on YouTube. That's true. Also, Twitch algorithm is bad too. They just favor popular over your own taste. So it also came out, Abby. I don't think I told you this, but I found this recently about Twitch. If you're a small streamer on Twitch and there's a lot of big streamers going on at the same time a small streamer is, they will throttle you. So
That's bullshit.
I know. I knew you would. I knew that
But
would piss
why
you
am I
off.
not
I
surprised?
know, it's so bullshit. So Twitch will do that to their small streamers. I did not know this until recently. I think Ludwig made a video about it, saying like, yeah, if you're a small streamer, you stream the same time as big streamers, they will throttle you. That's why my bit rate is so messed up. Like they throttle you. You know who doesn't do that? YouTube. Apparently YouTube doesn't do that because they have enough money to support even the smallest streamers. And Twitch, again, YouTube is backed by Google. But like Twitch is backed by Amazon. Twitch could do the same, but they don't. And they were talking about, it's a lot of money to run Twitch and all this stuff. Of course it is. But you are
It's a
backed by
business.
Amazon. Yeah, like you're backed by, what the fuck are you talking about? You're backed by Amazon. Shut the fuck up. You're not some mom and pop shop, Twitch. Like, as much as you want to act like you are, you're not. Shut up with that wording. I'm so mad at Twitch. I'm so mad at Twitch.
which is
Um,
a bunch of bullshit.
it is. This is garbage. Like it's garbo, for sure. Oh, time to go back to work. All right, have fun at work, Zamer. How do you expect them not
Bye.
to throttle with only 30%? Come on now. Yes, I just this is ugh. And now you're expecting to take half my money, but also throttle me as a
Hmm.
small streamer. Shut the fuck up with that bullshit. Anyway, that pissed me off. So Twitch again is not doing so good. And again, I think they're going by way of Amazon by saying, "Oh, let them cry, let them bitch about it, but they're going to stay with us. They're going to come back to us." They always do. Like an abusive
Not
boyfriend
necessarily.
or abusive
They're starting to fuck with the wrong generation.
yeah, well, yes. But at the same
And
time,
multiple generations at that, because we have Zoomers up and coming and becoming adults and are already adults. Like they're fucking around with the wrong people. Like you cross Zoomers a little too wrong and they'll just create a new platform.
I'm hoping that becomes the case cuz everyone is like where it's same with YouTube. A lot of people who had problems with YouTube is like who's going to create the next big video streaming platform? Right now it's just a war between Twitch and YouTube. But at the moment that's all we have because again, it is very expensive, like very expensive to run a streaming service like these, you know? And I
Yeah.
understand.
I mean,
So,
that's why Google is backing YouTube. Like,
yes.
it makes sense.
Yes. I don't know if
It's
you've
not great.
no, it's not. But, I am willing to I don't know if you heard me on stream before, but I am actually going to start planning to stream on YouTube. Um
You were telling me about that you were wanting, you specifically in your own channel wanted to break the affiliate um
well, I didn't realize you can
contract.
actually they did implement something where you can multi-stream to YouTube now. So I might just stream to both YouTube and Twitch. If I break
Yeah,
my
I don't see why not.
yeah, if I break my contract, because I'm not making money, because I'm very small. But like, if I break my contract with Twitch, I could just multi-stream to YouTube and Twitch, which I'm thinking
Yeah.
of doing because, again, I am a very very tiny creator. I have a lot of followers. I hate that this happened this year because I had the most growth in this year, in this one year than I ever did before. But it
Yeah.
wasn't because of Twitch. It was because of TikTok. So you're going to have to find growth in other places to promote your
Yeah.
channels because Twitch ain't it anymore. Definitely not YouTube. So you're just going to have to find ways to grow your channel. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just multi stream and keep posting to TikToks and stuff. And because it's just, it's a, I,
Yeah.
Twitch is literally becoming, I feel like they're growing
And in
horns.
reality, like Twitch is a little bit more for the younger generation because the
Mm-hmm.
younger generation doesn't have a problem like with having like 8,000 different accounts.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube makes sense because you don't have to have a Twitch account. If you already have a Google account, you already have like a YouTube account.
Yes, yes, yes. But the only thing is with a lot of YouTubers, because of course, the YouTube streamers, I was talking about this to you, like Cinnamon Toast Ken made
Yeah.
a,
Oh yeah.
I love Cinnamon Toast Ken. So he made a twit longer of like, so you want to move to YouTube for streaming. And it was the sweetest thing. He was like, all right, well, you're going to have to work a little harder. You're going to have to make thumbnails. You're going to have to do this, this, and this for your streaming thing. And I'm like, that's so sweet. Like,
He's creator dad.
yeah, he's
That's what he
creator
is
dad.
he's on the older side of like the
He's been on YouTube for yeah, it's almost a decade now. He's been on there for a
yeah,
long
he's
time. He
been
knows YouTube.
well, no, longer than a
Yeah.
decade because he and Felix were PewDiePie um were best friends and that they kind of started around the same time and
Mhm.
worked together and collabed a lot. Um, but he is older. He's
Mhm.
in his like mid 40s. Like while PewDiePie, Mark, and MatPat, Jacksepticeye, and everybody are closer to our age, like mid 30s.
30s. Mhm.
So he is very much like almost a Gen Xer, probably a very late millennial, but like he is content creator dad. He's like, well, here's how it's gonna go. It's gonna fucking suck, but you can put in the work and do it.
Yeah. And I
And
love
this is how you can do it. This is like experience from like my end.
mm-hmm. And I love that. I love that a lot of the because he's not the only one. I've also saw other streamers, but he was the one I saw because I follow him on Twitter. I
Right.
I greatly appreciate them because they're understanding that there's going to be a lot of influx to YouTube. Even I told you this too. Even Iron Mouse made a comment that she might move to YouTube.
Yeah.
Like I that is a huge one of the biggest, if not the biggest, VTubers in any streaming platform. And Twitch is going to lose one of the biggest VTubers, like
Mhm.
to YouTube. And I
And here's
genuinely,
the thing, like a lot of the VTubers, like the big VTubers, like Hololive and VShojo, are already on YouTube,
oh
like
yes,
exclusively. Like
yes.
Gura, Snuffy, what's her face, Zin, like all of them are like already on YouTube.
Mm.
So like,
So
I mean, if you fuck up big, you fuck up big.
they really dropped the ball on this one. But the thing of it is, I don't know if they're even going to want to fix it because again,
Probably not,
you know who does the
because it's
70
Amazon.
exactly. It's fucking Amazon. But you know who does have a 70-30 split for even the smallest of creators? YouTube.
Yep.
Fucking YouTube. Which is why it's at this point in time, YouTube has a better I guess YouTube has a better it just looks better for a lot of
Yeah.
streamers at the moment.
Yeah.
And again, instead of me exporting my cuz I have a YouTube. I don't use it much, but I do have a YouTube.
Yeah.
Um I usually just put my past streams on my YouTube channel. But if I go to YouTube, it'll just automatically download them for me to my channel. And that's honestly
Yeah.
it cuts the work in half for me. So that's another appealing thing about YouTube I could just do. Um I can't find What's Your Opinion podcast YouTube channel. It's because we don't have one yet.
Yeah.
Yet? Question mark? I'm asking you.
I mean, our email is a Gmail, so it wouldn't
It's
be
true.
difficult
It
to
wouldn't be
set it up.
no. But we wanted to stay on Twitch because we knew as a podcast, Twitch was at the time very very good for small streamers,
More ideal.
more ideal for growth. However, now with this, with even this, it's gonna screw us over if we ever do, or excuse me, when we do become popular. I'm gonna manifest that.
Yep, manifest it. We're gonna
Manifesting.
become big and
We're
famous.
gonna be big and famous podcasters. Everyone's gonna love our
Yep.
ADHD mental stuff.
Opinions.
Yeah.
Our ADHD opinions.
Yes, they're gonna just love it. So when we do, they're gonna take half. Hell nah, we worked hard.
Hell no.
Started from the bottom.
We
Now we're
worked
here.
hard to stay on track.
Do
Does
you know?
Twitch not understand how much work it is to stay focused with
Do,
ADHD?
I was about to say, do you
No.
know how much mental stimulation we have to put up with in our own minds for an hour and a
Yep.
half? Come on now. Come on now.
To come up with some kind of coherent thought.
Yeah. I get mentally exhausted. I have to take naps after the stream. I'm just like tired.
That's fair.
But yes. So I'm sorry, Kuma, I'm reading your other text. The other issue with YouTube Twitch is even if you have the money to start competition, you have to be able to stand up against Google, Amazon, pushing and bearing you. Yes, that's also true. There are other streaming sites. Like, do you remember Mixer? Rest in peace.
No.
Mixer was a streaming site that bought Ninja. I don't know if you know who Ninja is. One of the
Oh,
big
the Fortnite player?
yes, he used to be one of the biggest streamers. They bought out
Didn't he cheat
Ninja.
on his wife?
That's petty drama for another day. We're not telling you with pettiness. Moving on.
But like it's like that's the only reason I know him is because he's a Fortnite player that cheated on his wife.
Yeah. I think something like that. That happened like years ago, but yes. Something like that. Yes, Ninja. So Nick Mixer bought Ninja. so, to promote Mixer, but it never grew to be as big as a lot of
Yeah,
big
because you
streamers for the
bought
same reason.
someone that's has a scandal
No, no, no,
around
no, no,
them.
no. That was after. Like the reason
Yeah.
why Mixer bought Ninja because they wanted to start a streaming war with Twitch, and just like what Kumo said, Amazon and Google kind of buried it, and it's no longer no one streams on Mixer anymore. And like Facebook is trying to do the same, but Facebook isn't. It's not even. We're not even going to talk about Facebook streaming. Is it even? Is it even? Nah. I'm just sad you haven't talked about Moon Knight in weeks because we're still dealing with the fact that at the D23 conference recently, they never announced season 2. So fuck Disney. No, I'm just kidding. I love you, Disney, but really, fuck Disney.
I mean, like depression hit me real hard. I've dropped like all the fanfics I was reading.
Yeah. I was so upset. We were all like, even the fans, even though the directors and the writers were like, we are not making a Moon Knight season 2, we were still expecting something to surprise us, like a movie or something
I
at
don't know why
D23.
y'all were
I,
expecting
when y'all
it.
say y'all, I'm talking about other fans as well. Okay. I wasn't the only one. I saw on Twitter there was a lot of Moon Knight
That's what
fans
confuses me so bad. It's like, what? Like, why? Why did y'all think that
because
though?
we wanted to, because we thought that, Big Daddy Disney would surprise us. That's why. That's all we wanted.
Big Daddy Disney isn't a sugar daddy though.
Yeah, boy, it could be. Daddy?
I mean, he could be, but he
Yeah.
ain't gonna be.
See, Kuma, look what you've done. Now we're talking. Now we're talking Moon Knight. But anyway, that is,
I
I
mean,
think,
I think Kumo understands just like how I understand. It's just like, oh, hey, I know exact what to say
yes.
to make you derail from your conversation. It's like, oh, you're talking about spoilers here. Let me like divert you real quick. We'll be fine.
Yes.
Cause what was it? You were talking. You may have been actually talking about Moon Knight or something, or one of the Disney movies, the Marvel movies, on your stream, and someone's like, "Oh, I haven't seen it yet," and I'm just like, "Ricey, you're getting into spoilers." You're like, "No, no, no," and kept talking about it. I'm like, "You were really getting into spoiler territory." You're like, "No, no, no." I'm like, "All right, we're just gonna completely derail you. Here, have this topic," and completely derails you.
Yes, but like again, if we're talking Moon Knight, I will put up spoilers. If let me talk about damn Moon Knight. If you haven't watched it, that
All
ain't my
right, but
problem.
it was your stream.
Yeah, it's not my. If it's my problem, I want to talk about Moon Knight. If you come to my stream, my personal stream, and I'm
I
talking
think
about
it was. I
something,
I don't think
and
it
they're like,
was
you're
Moon Knight.
getting
I
to
do
spoiler
think that it was
territory,
like
and if you're getting
one
into
of the other Marvel shows or
I don't
movies.
remember.
I need to watch She-Hulk, by the way. I
Oh
haven't
yeah,
seen it yet.
I
Also, we got
haven't either.
another Star Wars show,
I know Andor.
Andor,
Yeah,
which I kind of finally figured out what it is. It's like it's the prequel to Rogue One.
yeah, I saw that, and I don't know. I'm not that excited about it because Rogue
I'm
One was the
curious
prequel.
about it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I am curious about it.
I think it's
Yeah,
just doesn't
obviously, I'm not
phase
gonna like
me.
it as much as Obi-Wan Kenobi, but like
Yeah,
Ewan McGregor,
obviously.
though, no
Yeah, I
one
was
will
gonna say
ever top Ewan
obviously.
McGregor.
Um,
Okay, so hear me out. Hear me out. I would cry tears of joy if I could get like Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and a live action Rex. I would probably
uh-huh.
cry. Along with like Ahsoka, Rosario
Oh
Dawson's Ahsoka.
yes.
I would probably cry. If
Yeah.
I if we could get that in live action form, I would probably legit cry.
Yeah,
But
I
we're
don't know
not
if
gonna
we are.
get
Yeah, I
that.
don't think so. Besides, I like the
We're not.
animation. Like animation needs to have its stay in the light. Star Wars animation. Anyway, I'm falling asleep. So,
Sorry.
uh,
Yeah,
do
like
you
my
want to?
brain is starting to produce way too much mucus.
This is the perfect time. Then we could stop here. Who are
Yeah,
you?
I'm at Mickey Reed here. Let me say hello. Hello, hello. Come on, tablet. I know you're tired. Uh, hello. I'm tired too. That's me. It's spelled the same way. You can find me on Twitter, ranting and raving about Splatoon 3 right now,
Ugh,
with Splatfest and
mad.
everything. And kicking Ricey's ass in Splatoon. Well, Not
Actually,
currently. Unfortunately,
yeah,
we're on separate teams and they won't let us match up, which is legitimate fair.
yeah. I mean,
Um,
yes, obviously, very.
but I'm still salty as fuck about it.
I do want to talk Splatoon maybe next week because I have comments I want to make, but that's for next week's stream.
Yeah, we got some comments about it too.
Yeah. So 100 times battles are great. Yeah, no, they're great, but I still have my own
I
personal.
still haven't gotten
We
that
gotta talk
yet.
Splatoon soon, man, because I've got a. I did playing
What?
it for a
Us?
while.
Splatoon?
I've got opinions. So, oh, who am I? Right, I'm this person. I am a bowl of
You're this
ricey.
person.
I am. It's in
Hoi?
chat.
You're
I
Hoi?
hoi hoi
Hoi?
hoi. So
Hoi,
I
hoi,
am a
hoi.
bowl of ricey. You can find me on Twitch and eventually YouTube, maybe very soon. If I could be testing a stream very soon, very soon. Uh, so you can find me there, as well on YouTube and Twitch, and also on Twitch. I mean Twitter. Good God, I gotta go to bed. On Twitter with the same name, a bowl of ricey, and y'all can find
Twitter,
me there.
Instagram,
Oh no, Instagram is not for you.
talk.
It's my Instagram. It's not public. My Instagram isn't public. Um.
I mean, Besos,
Oh yeah, Bessel's
because
cosplays is.
we got cons coming up.
Yeah, that's true. So,
I'm
but
excited for
but
Ayla.
mostly I'm more active on Twitter and Twitch.
You
Um,
are
yeah, for sure. So you
by
can
a
find me there.
long shot. You
Yeah,
are so much more active on Twitter.
yeah. I love Twitter. I don't have to say much, and people get it. People get it.
Yeah, you don't have to say much to start shit, that's for sure.
That's true. Absolutely true. Um. So yes, you can find me there. And where can you find us? Actually, you may not be able to, so I will. Give me
I
just.
can.
Oh, can you? Okay,
My tablet. Yeah.
fantastic. Where can we find us?
No, when it stops doing stupid shit. Why'd you put an apostrophe? What's your? There you go. You can find the podcast on Twitter at What's Your Opin 10. You can send us your opinions there. You can see our special opinions there as well. We keep saying this. We need to do the Snow White, best Snow White.
Yes, but with all the news coming out recently, it's so hard. So hard to do it.
I
Actually,
know.
we were supposed to put a poll for Splatfest. Let me go ahead and do that after the stream.
Splatfest is basically over, and you were wrong, ma'am.
Fun
You
is
chose
winning. How
wrong.
is you chose wrong too?
I am shocked by
Who
that too.
fucking fun is winning? We're both wrong, so you can sit your ass down. Actually, you are sitting technically.
But barely. Okay, so like the conch when like it officially started, the conch was like shocking by how much fun had.
Yes,
Um, and how little Grub had. Like honestly,
I
I was shocked how little Grub
same.
had.
Because like I saw more to be honest, in terms of art on my street, I saw a lot of grub art on my street, and I
Yeah.
haven't been playing with fun at all. Like I have only played with fun one time since I started. Once I've only
I've
played with.
barely played with fun. I'm
Yeah.
either playing against other gear or I'm actually playing against Grub.
That's so crazy, right? Anyway, I do.
But at the halfway point, like gear was right on Fun's ass.
Yeah, I do think.
Like by like a point two.
Right. I do think that they're gonna probably gear is gonna come up again like they did the last time. It just depends. I feel like this is just an exact copy of what happened during the tutorial, like the first Splatfest, like the
Yeah.
demo Splatfest, that one. But yes, we'll talk about it more. We're gonna talk about it next week because I really want to talk
You
about it.
promise?
Promise. Unless something big happens, but Splatfest has been on my mind for a while, or Splatoon has been
Okay.
on my mind for a while for sure.
That's fair.
But yes, thank you guys so much for listening in. And especially since it was some of the topics were pretty heavy and some of it was kind of, you know, angy inducing. But I'm glad you guys got
Opinion
to
inducing.
yeah. But I'm glad you guys got to stick with it, stick with us, all that stuff. Look, if
Yeah.
Gear wins, you chose the wrong teams. If Grub wins, you betrayed us after the team. It's always my fault. It's always my fault. And if Fun wins, you held Gear down during the team. My fault always. But yes, thank you guys
Yep.
so much for listening. I hope you have a good week and stay safe out there. Try not to get
Yeah.
Two crazy, wild and kooky crazy kids. All right. Bye everybody.
Bye.